Yes.
There is a school of thought, and I don't subscribe to it, but I'm just going to put it forward, that we probably aren't going to lose the Senate and probably aren't going to lose the House either. There is a school of thought that says the state needs a counterbalance to keep those folks in check. I'm not saying that they need to be kept in check, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's something I wonder if we need to deal with in terms of a Democratic governor, in terms of these two.
I think you may need to deal with that if it's a nominee who hasn't proven that they can get things. Is that me? No. It's you! Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you.
Hey, she's a star volunteer.
Yeah. No. It was a joke. It was really seriously a joke. But to answer your question, I mean, I think that's where it does matter, I think. We need to nominate, again, somebody who's proven they can work across ideological lines to solve things. Because if you end up with an ideologue as a Democratic nominee, and I'm not saying there is, that's not my point, but that's where you have that problem, because then it's, again, why that is exactly how Brian Dewey wins, because that's all he has to say, right? It's, wait a minute, you don't even have to like me, you just know I'll stop those guys, right? So and what we need to be able to say is here's a record of somebody who doesn't work that way, works across lines, gets solutions, and isn't going to play, we got the majority, so you're screwed. That's not what we first of all, it won't work. I don't think. You're going to need people on all sides to get any real solution. I mean, look at Obama. I mean, you can't, unless you're really, if the other side isn't willing to play, you got problems enough. So you've got to be able to at least want to try to work with him, as he's tried to do, I think, on a lot of these issues. Much to the disappointment of a lot of people in the room about where he's been able to get things done, because there's always somebody trying to stop him, but we're trying to pull it more the other way. But I think the Democrats do better with somebody who's got a proven record of getting results by working across both sides, or all sides, excuse me, particularly here. Back there, and I'll come to you.
Charles, I wanted to ask you what you thought were some of the challenges for the candidate in establishing himself as the leader on fiscal responsibility, because it seems that one thing really going for the Republicans is that they've had a number cruncher running the state who has really established himself as, sort of being more concerned about the numbers than almost anything else, possibly even a human being. But the thing is that, a year and a half ago, the Dems were perhaps underestimating the severity of this economic decline. There were definitely statements that were coming out that made it sound like they were very skeptical about the need for austerity. And I'm feeling that at this point, there still needs to be a kind of reclaiming of that fiscal responsibility, even if it's just an image, in order to come across the finish line here.
No, absolutely. Or I'd call it fiscal reality.
Yeah.
But you pointed out, there are people at the end of those numbers. So I think it's both somebody who understands the reality, the fiscal reality, but also is clearly somebody who understands there's people, it's not just numbers, it's real lives, real people, real jobs, real families, and then the children, there are real kids out there who need the opportunity for an education that's going to lead them to productive lives, and not to a life that can go the wrong way if we don't put the right funds in. So I think that's going to be really imperative, and that's where you get real problems when you have people basically putting out, waving wand numbers like, we can balance. I don't even want to get into how crazy some of this stuff is that people are talking about. We'll create all this and it won't cost anything. I mean, come on. That's the transactional leader that has gotten us into this whole mess. And I mean that about both parties. when you have transactional leaders who are willing to say those kinds of things and basically play on people's kind of like, oh, that sounds great, you know, and go off on it. You know, look, there was a time when that worked, and it was probably not even all that bad. I mean, I probably was guilty of it, you know, as a consultant, but we're not there. I mean, we are in a totally different, this is not like any recession, any change in this I mean, maybe it's change from the, you know, when we went from agricultural to industrial. I mean, but this is the kind of economic turmoil that we're running through, and it's going to take a real different kind of leader, at least against somebody's fiscal reality, but understands that there's real pain at the end of those numbers, and how do we make sure people aren't hurt? And by the way, that requires things like I'm willing to tap into the rainy day fund if we need to make sure these cuts don't hurt people as badly as they're going to, and to say to people, if, as someone else said more eloquently than me, if it's not raining, then when are we going to use it? I mean, so I think it's those kinds of it's that kind of rhetoric and understanding of the situation rather than a lot of the other stuff that we're hearing these days.